The Wall Street Journal basically did a report last week that a new study, and it's the biggest to date, has determined that the anti-parasitic drug ivermectin did not prevent hospitalization or death from in the COVID-19 patients. And I'm sure you are shocked to learn this. After all, tens of thousands of our fellow Americans insisted that it cured them when in reality it didn't. Um, Unfortunately, many have died after having used it in lieu of the vaccines that would have kept the virus from being so deadly. The ivermectin protocol prescribed by many doctors largely at the request of their patients is bunk. There was no indication that ivermectin is there was no indication ever that ivermectin was clinically useful. Edward Mills, one of the study's lead researchers and a professor of health sciences at Canada's McMaster University, had told the journal. The people who thought it cured them, the people who thought it cured them would have survived the virus anyway, and those that issued the vaccines in favor of this drug and wound up at the hospital were placing their faith in something that didn't work. The new study clears up any confusion. If some people took ivermectin and survived COVID, it was a coincidence, which I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Right-wing celebrities touted the drug. Some, like notorious podcaster Joe Rogan, said that healthy people need to not get vaccinated, and he caught the virus and lived to tell the tale. Others, such as conservative talk show host Phil Valentine, weren't so fucking lucky. And this wasn't the first dubious COVID cure out there. You'll remember that the first one that caught the popular imagination among the maggot crowd was hydroxychloroquine, a malaria and lupus drug. It too was highly touted by right-wing media, particularly the faux host, the racist cunt Laura Ingraham, who took her so-called medicine cabinet, a couple of faux physicians, up to the White House to push for the government to use it as a treatment back in 2020. And Trump claimed that one of the doctors gave it to him in a detailed presentation about the drug's efficacy based on his own experiences and studies. And Trump was very impressed. He started tweeting hydroxychloroquine and erythromycin or something like that taken together have a real chance to be one of the biggest game changers in the history of medicine. And he says that it should be put into use immediately, and people are dying and moving fast. Yeah, people were dying because we botched the pandemic. Um, he spent the next few months relentlessly pushing this drug, and under pressure, the FDA granted it emergency use authorization, even though the agency knew that it wasn't effective. Trump said that he took the drug himself, which I doubt that he did, and for all the good it did him. But when a major study conducted on the VA patients was released, showing that the drug did not work and it actually was killing people and harming them, Trump claimed that it was a hoax study given to people who were ready to die as a way to hurt him politically. Trump, we don't have to hurt you politically. You did that all by yourself. Um, as it turned out, an analysis of patients across 6 continents found that the patients treated with the drug were more likely to develop irregular heartbeats, leading to a sudden what they call heart attack. And other reports had yielded similar findings. So the desire for that particular fake cure was eventually superseded by a new snake oil ivermectin, pushed by many of the same people who had pushed hydroxychloroquine. As you can see, faux touted ivermectin as a cure for COVID many times. They pushed the hydroxychloroquine more than 300 times. And it's fair to say, and it's also fair to suspect that the use of these two drugs based on bogus science and anecdotal Facebook posts with heavy promotion by Trump and faux, it cost many people their lives. They have a large audience of gullible viewers who are more than happy to experiment on their own bodies with unproven cures, but curiously they didn't trust the COVID vaccine. What's the reason for this bizarre fucking behavior? Some of it was on Trump, of course. He pushed these phony cures, even going so far as to suggest that ingesting a bleach may be a way to clean out the lungs of COVID. And Faux and the other right-wing media were no doubt influential in pushing that theory. But mostly, I think it had to do with the propensity among right-wingers to dive headfirst into conspiracy theories, and this study looked into some of the possible theories for that. Some believe that COVID-19 is a business for healthcare workers, and doctors are diagnosing every fever as COVID-19 for their benefit, which is not true. Ironically, in some places, people had attacked the healthcare workers in the hospitals for not handing over the dead body immediately to the family. But the claim that COVID-19 is a pre-planned project to cover the Bill Gates trackable microscope conspiracy was also a conspiracy theory that was raised. Myth about the origin of virus was also emerged. People also believe that government is providing false number of COVID-19 cases. Not true also on that part, but because a large number of cases will get more profit and donation. Many people also believe that it is from God, that it's from the invisible ferryman as a punishment, which it's not. The 5G technology directly transmits the virus and weakens the human immunity, which that doesn't either. And some consider that the virus is also a biowarfare weapon, which it's not. In addition, the video pandemic that shows that COVID-19 pandemic is a conspiracy, which it's not, of pharmaceutical companies to sell their products also have become viral through social media platforms. These are all adding to the list of conspiracy theories that they're touting. And this tracks well with all the other conspiracy theories swirling around the right-wing fever swamps, so I suppose it's not fucking surprising to anybody. But what's the logic of Republicans and faux being anti-vax and pro-snake oil? They all got vaccinated themselves, but they pushed alternative treatments so fucking hard while degrading the vaccines is dangerous. You still have GOP senators like Ted Cruz running around with that sad sack anti-vax trucker convoy that's driving in circles in the Beltway for no fucking good reason. But as the historian Rick Perlstein pointed out some time back, peddlers of this fucking quack medicine and right-wing extremists have had a long and happy relationship. Their customers and their audience are the same people. Now take a fucking look around at how the nutritional supplement industry largely supports right-wing media, from the fat-ass Alex Jones to the racist prick Tucker Carlson. There's a financial incentive to keep their audience believing in snake oil, but it's very short-sighted. After all, telling their followers that a pill will improve their sex life probably isn't going to kill them, but pushing them to take an alternative quack cure for COVID might. So if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening. But also, if you want to support to my if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of my YouTube channel, and you can donate as little as a few bucks for the week or month or whatever, and hopefully this can go a long way to help support the channel. Yeah.